This is Mrs. Cagle, and I'm going to give you some ideas of ways to organize your Google Drive. This is part one of a two-part video tutorial. So the first tip is use consistent naming conventions. Well, what does that mean? A naming convention is the way you name your files. Even though Google Drive will let you name your files however you like, it's important to be consistent. Keep file names short but meaningful to you and your teacher if you're a student, or your students if you're a teacher. You don't need extra words like and, not because it's wrong, but to keep it short and simple. So to show you an example, I'm going to go to my How-To Docs folder. So you'll see when I double click in here, some of my naming conventions are really good. I know that this one here is for Chrome, and it's for disabling hardware accelerator, which is something for the teachers. I know that this one's for Chrome, but then when I go down to some of these other ones, this one's for Chrome too. Maybe I should rename it. I'm going to right click it and rename. So I'm going to call this Chrome, and I'm going to call it Enable Print Preview. Now it follows the same naming conventions as my others. Let's see if there's another one. Oh, yes. So here's Drive, something with Google Drive, but here's another one that has Drive in the title, but it starts with How, and that's probably not the best. So a right click is either a right click if you have a mouse that has left and right click, or you can control click, or you can do a two-finger click is also a right click. Go to rename. I'm going to call this one Drive. Force. I don't really need How-To. It's in the How-To folder. Force. Automatic. I don't need An. Automatic copy. And click OK. If you need to add a date, include the month, day, and year. However, remember Google Drive will allow you to see the last time you opened or edited a file. So you see some of these I opened today, some of these less recently, or even, this one's from 2011. That one might not be very up to date anymore. I probably should look at that. If you need to abbreviate, I recommend using capital letters to help you remember. Google defaults to display your files in ABC order, alphabetical order. But just so you know, you can click up here and change it to Z to A order. I'm going to put it back the way I had it. You also, though, can sort by last modified. Last modified means the last time you changed it. So bottom line, choose a system that works for you and stick with it. So my second tip is to organize into folders and subfolders. So once you've chosen your naming system, you'll want to organize things into folders and subfolders. To see your current folder list, click on the drop-down arrow next to My Drive over here on the left. From here, you can easily click and drag files into folders. There we go. So for example, if I scroll down, I know there's a couple things. Oh, this 4th and 5th gym lunch. Well, that is a seating chart for lunch for this year, and I want to put that in this year's folder. So I can click and drag it up into the folder. Now it's in the folder. But let's see, I know I had another one. Yes, the matrix for remote learning. So this one can also go over here, but I'm going to show you another way to move it. Another way to move it is to right click, go move to, and in my drive, I want to put it in this year's folder, and then I'm going to click move here so that it goes. To create a new folder from Google Drive, click on the New button, and then select Folder. Okay, and then you would call it whatever you wanted to call it. We're going to call it New Folder, just so you can see where it goes. Create. And here it goes in alphabetical order in between media and my primary QR code cards folder, which actually that one should go inside my curriculum folder. So I'm going to drag that over there. Now it's in my curriculum folder. All right, so after you name your folder, then you can drag the files that you need in there. Another thing you can do though is create a subfolder. So for example, if I go down to my Today's Tech Tip folder, it's kind of full with a lot of stuff in here. And some of the things that I have in here are videos, and some of the things I have in here are notes, and some of them are slides. I'd like to actually have a folder just for slides that's inside my Today's Tech Tip folder. Okay, so one thing I can do is I can highlight the things that I want to put in there. Okay, and then I'm going to do that right click again, click Move To. But this time I don't have a folder to move it to, so I need to create a new folder. And this one is going to be called TTT Slides, Today's Tech Tip Slides, just because I believe I have another slides folder somewhere in my Google Drive. And then you're going to click Move Here. And you'll see now I have a slides folder inside my Today's Tech Tip folder. My third tip is really for teachers. If you want to, you can create a master folder for each school year. I do that here to find things that maybe I'm only going to use for that year. Another place that we've done it is inside the Battle of the Books folder, which I share with Mrs. Zacher and Mrs. Rodriguez. And you can see that we have every year that we have done Battle of the Books, they're in there in the folder. Organizing your folders can be as important as organizing your closet or your classroom or your desk. It makes it easier for you to find things when you need them, especially when your drive is as full as some of our drives are, with so many different files that we want to reuse from year to year, or we want to look back on and change. Hope that helps, and stay tuned for part 2 next week. Got an idea for a tech tip? Just email me. I'd love to hear your ideas.